Welcome to Table Topics. Today we're going to be talking about a woman who has pursued her dreams, but now she's under a lot of criticism. Most people would agree that everyone has a right to pursue their dreams, but what if your dream is to have lots of babies? Well, Nadia Suleman, who is 33 years old, recently gave birth to the world's second set of live octuplets. Now, why is she under such criticism? First of all, it's because she doesn't have a husband. Second of all, she already has 6 children. And third of all, she's living with her parents. So what's come under fire is the fertility clinic, which is still unnamed, that provided these 8 embryos. And why would they allow this pregnancy to come to full term? So what do you guys think? Was this the fertility clinic's fault? Is it the mother's fault? And should she be attacked as viciously as she had on the internet?
I think she's kind of like the cat lady who has way too many cats and can't properly take care of them. I mean, I don't know her exact status, so maybe somebody should step in, but she doesn't have a husband. What's her income? I guess when you have octuplets, people step in and they start giving you products and money and support. So hopefully that's happening, because otherwise I'm concerned.
If I had octuplets, I would need a sponsor for that
Well,
away.
I was watching an interview with that show Kate.
John and Kate.
John and Kate plus 8.
John and Kate at 8. I was watching an interview, and she was talking about the issues that come up. And one of the things that she felt was a lot of guilt, because with 8 children, she felt like she couldn't give enough quality time to each of them. Now, can you imagine now? 8 plus 6 is 14. How can you possibly, and they're young children. Her kids are 2 to 7.
The idea with these fertility drugs is they didn't know that she would end up with 8. So let's say she has 6 and she just wanted one more.
Well, they said that, you know, there are ethical guidelines for fertility clinics, and usually someone who's under the age of 35 should only get implanted with 2, at the most 3 embryos at a time. So whoever planted those embryos, it's possible they didn't plant 8, and some of them just split, or she was on a lot of fertility drugs at the time, but still, someone helped her to have 8 babies. Yes.
Well, and as far as I know, when they were actually performing the cesarean section, all of a sudden, they thought there were 7, and then an 8th pops out, and so they don't even know that this is happening. So, I mean, very unprepared.
And they say that the cost of having these babies is approximately $100,000 per baby just for the neonatal care, never mind the cesarean and the future costs. And there's like some statistics that John and Kate provided about what they go through each month. 1,800 diapers a month, 1,200 paper plates, 2 to 5 loads of laundry a day, and 2 to 3 loads of dishwashing a day. So can you imagine that for 14 kids? How can she, you know, expect to be able to afford this? And there's another family in 1997, the McCaughey family, and they gave birth to the first set of living septuplets. But again, you know, it's a man and a woman, so it's like a married family. So I think society was willing to get up behind them and support them. They actually got a 5,500 square foot house, and they got 2 years' supplies of diapers, nanny services, and the state of Iowa promised to give their kids full scholarships to college. So
how big of a problem is it that she's single?
I think that's one of the issues. It's like, why is society attacking her because she's single? I think it's a big issue, actually.
Well, and actually, it's also because look at how many kids she already had at home. She already had 6 children at home, so to add 8 more on top of that. I think what you need to look past is, okay, sure, you can get sponsorships. I'm sure she's getting a lot of attention and money. For me, the issue is how much love can she provide? And that's something that, yes, you can step in and you can have nannies and you can have grandparents and all those people to provide support. But to have 14 children, you need to commit and dedicate every single minute of your time.
Well,
so
interestingly, Nadia holds a degree in child and adolescent development. So she
When did she have time to get a degree?
Another issue that's come up is, should the fertility clinic be accused of malpractice? Because with 8 babies, actually, there's a high risk for developmental issues and health problems for the lifespan of the kids.
Well, it's interesting because not only her mother, I think, stepped in beforehand and said, listen, you already have 6 kids at home. Why do you want even just 1 more? And then secondly, I think some of the doctors supposedly had stepped in and said, maybe you should abort a couple when they found out that there was going to be what they thought was 7 at the time. And she said, no, for her, she wanted to go through with it and not abort.
Well, if she's ready to have any children at all, I see that point for sure, that she wouldn't abort 2 of them or 3 of them.
Right.
Just to make it more manageable. Here's the question. She now has gotten a lot of media attention because she went and had 8 kids on top of 6, and controversy or not, she's getting a lot of publicity, including right now. So will she get more help, and will the children get more help than just a single mom with 1 kid who's struggling and just leaving a really normal life that no one cares about, and that no one Pampers is not giving her anything.
But she's actually getting a lot of negative attention. She's not getting, whereas the other, the Octuplets and, you know, John and Kata, they've gotten a lot of positive press.
I think the thing, though, is because she's in the media at all,
exactly,
people are going to step in. I'm sure she'll get a lot of support, even though there is negative media. Well, and it's interesting because back in the day, families were made up of 12, 14, maybe even 16 kids, but at the time it was because you needed children to work on the farm. That's what children were. That's why families had so many children, because they also wouldn't live to a full term. And that also brings up the issue of, I think the question about whether or not she should have maybe aborted 1 or 2 was that then maybe it would make a couple of them stronger, the life better for a couple of the other babies, because I think there was an Octuplets in 1967, and 8 of them, they all died. They all died because none of them were healthy enough. They were all 1.7 pounds, and in this case as well, I think that it could have been a very big risk. She could have lost all of them.
I wonder how women who are taking fertility drugs feel about the potential of having, you know, triplets instead of just having 1 child, and octuplets, will forget about it.
And I think, you know, if you have any friends who've had babies, 1 baby is like a full-time job.
Yeah.
So multiplying that by even 2 or 3 is not just emotionally exhausting, it's financially challenging, and I just can't imagine 14.
So do you guys believe in fertility drugs? Let's say you were having problems conceiving a child. Would you take fertility drugs?
I'd probably take them.
Well, we're interested in knowing if you are interested in taking fertility drugs, would you take them? If you had multiple births, would you go through with them? If you had 8 babies in your womb, would you choose selective abortion? Because for some people, abortion just is not an option for ethical reasons. And should fertility clinics be held accountable for the amount of embryos they implant at a time? These are some of the questions we'd love to discuss with you in our forums, so please leave a message, and we hope to get in dialogue with you. And thanks for checking out Table Topics.